Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Game Corner. My name is Tony. I'm your host. I'm excited to bring you this week's episode of This Week in Gaming. We're going to be talking about Warzone, Apex Legends, and of course, GameStop. And before we get into the video, I want to remind everybody that I do stream on Twitch every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 6 to 10 p.m. Pacific time. I'll leave the link down in the description below. Come jump in my chat. Let's talk about things. All right, now let's move into the content itself. Now, first on our plate today is we're going to talk about Warzone, the status of Warzone, where it is at currently, and really its downfall. Hopefully it turns around. We'll see, as it is a game with a ton of fun and a ton of potential to it. They honestly just need to fix one major thing. And I actually talked about it 2 weeks ago. If you can't guess, it's hackers and cheaters. Now, things came to a head this week as we had two huge Warzone content creators really lash out against Activision and their lack of an anti-cheat within the game itself. We had Bobby Poof and Vicstar both lash out against Activision. Now, Bobby Poof went on a huge rant saying, F Activision, F you guys are lazy, you can't manage a game, and you suck, essentially, for not having an anti-cheat in place for the game, as he got hacked on 2 games in a row during the largest Warzone tournament to date. And Vicstar went on ahead to say that he's quitting Warzone, meaning that he's really not going to stream it too much anymore. He's not competing at all. Now, this is a huge blow to the Warzone community and franchise itself, as we've already had people like Nick Merckx and Symphony come out saying they're no longer competing. And now we have Vicstar, who's really invested into Activision itself and creating a great game in Warzone, to say that he's done with Warzone. And another huge content creator in Bobby just go on this wild rant that has gone viral all over Twitter, Instagram, really everywhere, to say that Activision really just has dropped the ball on this one. Now, I happen to agree with them because I left Warzone about a month ago to go play Apex a lot more because of the lack of an anti-cheat. I'm not even a high-level competitor like these guys are. I'm just a casual player looking to create content with Warzone itself, and I can't even do that because in every single lobby there's a hacker, there's a cheater, and they always seem to find their way to us one way or another. Now, this does not take away from the fact that I do love Call of Duty as a franchise, and I love Warzone itself. If there was no hackers, it would be an almost perfect game. You still have a lot of these glitches that they seem to work out, but somehow make it back into the game, like stim glitches. However, the game itself, I do love. I love the map, the amount of people, the gulag, the buyback system, the ability to buy perks and loadouts and get guns. I absolutely love that ability. It's totally different from any other BR out there and makes it unique, makes it special, and it makes it a lot of fun to play. Add steps and goals to the game itself. Step 1 is getting that loadout, finding a bounty contract, and then going after and getting as many kills as you possibly can. Or you're more of the camper person who likes to sit in a corner, wait for people to walk by and kill them that way. I don't think it's that much fun, but that is a strategy to win. I'm not saying those people don't exist in Apex or these other BRs either. They 100% do. However, I definitely feel in Call of Duty it is far more prominent. Now, to be 100% honest, I think the worst part about this whole Activision non-anti-cheat thing is the fact that they haven't even responded really to it. They haven't talked about it. They haven't acknowledged it really at all. And it's gotten to a point where, again, these larger content creators, some of the biggest ones in the game itself, are pulling away from Warzone. It's saying a lot. And honestly, if they don't do something soon, eventually everyone's going to leave. They're going to find a different game. They'll go back to Fortnite. Maybe they'll go to Apex. Maybe they'll go to Valorant. There's a lot of other competitive esport games that, streamers can use to create content and still have that competitive edge as well. Now, I'm not sure exactly what they're going to do, how they're going to address it, because now there's a huge conspiracy theory, out there that someone within Activision itself is selling information to these developers of the hacks, and everybody's got their tinfoil hat on. It's going a little crazy out there. What I do know is this: Warzone needs an anti-cheat. Plain and simple. There's not really much else to it besides that. If you disagree, either you haven't played long enough or you're not good enough to realize that there are hackers in pretty much every lobby. Now my thing is they just really need to address it and just come out with an anti-cheat. I don't understand what's so difficult about it. Or I'm sorry, not Warzone, obviously. Fortnite has the easy anti-cheat. Apex has the easy anti-cheat. And it now, does this fix everything? Absolutely not, but it's a start in a step in the right direction. And I think that, Warzone just, they need to do something. Doing nothing is going to cause them to lose more money, as people will stop playing the game. And it's a shame to see that because of how great Warzone is as a fundamental game itself. However, if the people who create the game don't actually care about the players, this is exactly what happens. So Activision, we're going to ask you one more time, please care about the players that are playing your game, man. Fix the game. Let's go. Moving on, we're switching over to Apex Legends. Apex is about to move into its 8th season and announcing its new character Fuse, a revamp of the map Kings Canyon, and a new weapon and a new item on the ground. I'm really excited for all of this. Can't wait to get into it. We'll start with the new character, Fuse. Fuse looks like a badass. If you haven't watched his origin story yet on YouTube, I highly recommend checking it out. There's also his abilities YouTube video as well. Definitely check that out too. Now, in short, Fuse is an orphan grown up, kind of rode up with some girl. I don't really know who that is, and they kept having this competition over a golden grenade, essentially, and a golden grenade that they found as kids from gangsters that attacked their home village or something. Regardless, at the end of it, he still has the gold grenade, and now he's moving on to the Apex Legends, the Champions Arena, right? So his abilities, I'm pretty excited for, as I think it'll really shake up a lot of the competitive meta, and I absolutely hope it does. Now his passive is he can throw grenades farther, faster, and more accurately. More accurately being is he can see where they would bounce off of a wall, and it's a little bit easier of a line to follow as well. Now, his tactical is going to be the ability to use concussive grenades. It's kind of like Revenant's silence grenade that he has, obviously without the effect of disabling people's abilities. I'm not really sure what else it's going to do. It'll probably slow people down, I'd have to imagine, almost similar to a stun grenade or a flash grenade in Call of Duty. I'd have to imagine it has to do something like that. And then his ultimate is the ability to drop a mortar, which puts a ring of fire either down around, obviously, your enemies, or obviously wherever you aim it. Now, this is going to be a huge game changer in the competitive meta, as I think we'll see a lot more movement characters if he's involved to be able to counter that, like Octane with his jump pad, or Wraith with her portal. Of course, Wraith is always going to be there. Maybe even some more Lobas or Pathfinders. Probably more likely Pathfinders are going to show up. But you'll see a lot more movement characters to try to get you out of that sticky situation. However, what it's going to be able to do is probably team up with a Gibraltar to be able to pin people down and then be able to drop an airstrike on them as well. So we'll have to see how this plays out in the competitive meta, but I'm really excited for it. I want to hear your thoughts on it as well. Drop them down in the comments below. Now, if you don't know, Apex is easily my favorite BR, so I'm super excited for this new character to come in. Definitely going to be playing the new character the first day he's available, February 2nd. And, I definitely invite you all to come check that out on my Twitch, as, we can do it together. I'm really excited for the ability to throw grenades faster, as I can't tell you how many times I've switched to a grenade and tried to, throw it down and switch back to a gun, and someone just rushes the corner, and, I either go down or I die or whatever, just because I'm trying to make a play to either escape or I am on the offensive, but I wanted to throw a grenade to see if they would run into it, and I just total mistiming. I'm sure you guys have been there as well, so I'm excited to see how much faster that is. And the tactical, again, no real idea of what exactly it does. If I had to guess, it would slow people down similar to a stun grenade, and I'm interested to see how exactly his ult will play out with some other characters. in duos and trios. Now the new gun, I think it's the 3030, looks like a repeater rifle, almost like a hunting rifle from Fortnite, or I'm not really sure which Call of Duty gun, maybe closer to like a DMR, gun in Warzone. Will be really exciting to see what exactly we can do, what it classifies as. Likely a sniper, I'd have to imagine, or they're gonna shake up some of the way the weapon classes work out. Now, it looks like a single shot rifle that does a decent amount of damage and has a pretty high refire rate. So it'll be really exciting to see this gun come into Apex, as we don't really have a gun like that where it has that super fast refire rate while still being able to maintain distance on the bullet itself. Either way, I'm excited to try it out and absolutely drop some fools in the Legends arena and have a ton of fun doing it. Now this golden mag looks very interesting to me, as I've heard the rumor that it's supposed to reload your gun if your gun is pocketed, and when you pull it back out, the gun has is fully loaded. We'll definitely see this run a lot with an R99 or a Volt to be able to rechamber those bullets fast while being able to pull out maybe even a Mastiff or whatever other gun you're using with it. Maybe you're using a Volt and an R99. Now that would be pretty dangerous. There is no increased magazine size, and I can absolutely agree with that, because honestly that would be totally unfair if they increase the magazine size of a Volt or an R99, for example, or even an R301 or a Hemlock or Flatline, as a purple mag itself already has quite enough bullets in it to be able to drop one person and do a decent amount of damage to another. But still, I'm excited to see what this will do and how people will prepare for this. If people will not rush, as they might not know that someone has a golden mag, as well as how this will work out with teams or a single person being able to either defeat a whole team if the other two are knocked or dead. It'll be really interesting to see how this shakes up the competitive meta all by itself. As well as I want to know how many mags are going to be in the game, if it's just an attachment that you pick up for any weapon type, or if there's maybe one golden mag per weapon type, like one light, one heavy, one sniper. It'll be really interesting to see. Either way, I'm excited for it. And last but not least, let's talk about the new-ish map. So we're coming back to Kings Canyon, which I absolutely love. Kings Canyon is definitely my favorite map. I do like World's Edge quite a bit, but I definitely feel it getting stale, as within season 7 itself have just played it quite a bit, as switching between pubs and ranked, and it just popping up over and over and over again. I'm ready for a new map. It looks like they've spiced up a few places in Kings Canyon to make it more appealing to drop in those areas. Hopefully added some more loot to those areas as well, and bringing a whole new dynamic to the game, as we all have our favorite spot within Kings Canyon to jump already. So adding a few more places where more teams can drop at will just make the game more exciting. Now, let's talk about some changes that Apex needs to make to its weapon meta. Now, first and foremost, there's two weapons that I know absolutely need to get nerfed. Not nerfed into the ground, but nerfed. And if you haven't guessed already, it is 100% the triple take and wingman. Now, the reason I say this is I can't tell you how many times I've just been absolutely destroyed very quickly by both a triple take and a wingman from distance and from obviously up close as well, just because of the refire rate on those weapons, as well as the damage, of course. Now, the wingman will do 45 base to the body, and I think it's 70 to the head. That's without a skull piercer. Now, if it has a skull piercer, it does 90 to the head, and a triple take, I believe, is 70 to the body, and then 110 or 120 to the head, maybe even more than that. And the way the triple take gets really dangerous is just its refire rate, the ability to shoot once and then shoot again and shoot again and shoot again. Now, there's a couple of fixes for this. Increase the refire rate on it, or increase the recoil. Very simple, right? You can the reason I say this is because you can pick up a base model triple take and just absolutely destroy a whole team as long as you have height and cover. And you don't really need any sniping skills to be able to do that either. You just have to be able to aim and pull the trigger, right? And not necessarily the precision of a typical sniper, like I would say with the longbow or the Sentinel. And if you increase the recoil, then it increases the amount of damage that someone can, put on you on that second shot. So thereby obviously just making it a little bit less effective weapon that you can pick up off the ground. Now, when you find that purple sniper stock, then absolutely it can have the same effect that it does now. However, I don't think a base triple take should be able to do the damage at the rate it does currently. And the same goes for the wingman. There's literally almost no recoil when the weapon shoots up and comes right back. And the refire rate is just absolutely ridiculous. So there's obviously a few fixes we can do there. Number one, what I think they should do is actually decrease the damage from 40 to 30 or 35. The reason I say this is that if you're shooting someone with a flat line, each bullet usually does between 20 to 22. Same with the Hemlock, and the Spitfire is just a little bit more, I believe. Now, why would the Wingman do double that? I'm not sure. And from there, the ability to fire off multiple shots very quickly. And I don't know if you've played Apex or if you're very familiar with the game. Once you get hit, you kind of get stunned almost. You move a lot slower, and you can't really react as fast. Your character just doesn't react with the same manner that you would previously to getting shot. So reducing some of that damage, maybe just increasing that recoil, or just slowing down the refire rate as well, making it so you have to take a whole half second more to be able to fire off that next shot. What I can compare this to is the Deagle in Call of Duty itself. Specifically, when I think of it, is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Now, the ability to use the Deagle in Modern Warfare 2, you had to use akimbo pretty much. It was pretty wild. Using a single Deagle was very difficult, but it did a lot of damage, right? So I think that if we kind of swap that out with the Wingman, should just be either a little bit more difficult to use or do less damage. I feel like one or the other will fix that weapon meta, because the Wingman, you can actually hit people from distance as well, and it can do quite a bit of damage there. So in my opinion, if we fix the Wingman in that way, the game will just be a lot more fun. Now, we can always nerf like the R9, maybe even the Volt as well. I don't really see a problem with those guns. I really have a hard time controlling the recoil on the R9. The Volt, I think, is a great weapon because it absolutely needs a extended mag to be really useful within the game. The Volt without an extended mag is actually really difficult to be able to use and knock one person, let alone two, because you always have to reload that gun. Now, there's some guns that I do think need buffs as well. The Spitfire is one of them, as the recoil on the Spitfire, at least without any attachments, is almost unmanageable. It kind of, after the first 2 or 3 shots, it kind of shoots up to the right. I feel like that's a little unfair to the Spitfire. When the Havoc, you can control the recoil a lot easier. So I think that the Spitfire needs some work just with that recoil adjustment. And one thing I would actually really love to see added to the game is a hop-up called akimbo, where you can hold 2 P2020s or 2 RE45s or 2 Wingmans if you absolutely want to. I think that would be a really cool ability, or a really cool hop-up. What I think it should do is give you 2, but reduce the damage by 1/3 per bullet, right? So if a Wingman does 30, let's just say, for example, I know it does 40, let's just reduce that damage by 10 per bullet when you're using akimbo, right? You're doing 40 if you hit both, so you're still doing more than what you would if you only had one. However, it's a little bit more difficult to aim, and obviously meant for more up-close engagements. I think that would be cool. You'd see a lot more people rocking akimbo pistols rather than rocking maybe a EVA 8 or a Mastiff or a Peacekeeper. I think it would be pretty interesting. But that's enough about Apex. Tell me what you guys think about the new season, the current weapon meta, if there's any changes you would make, if they are, what they are. And I look forward to hearing those in the comments down below. All right, last but not least, GameStonk, right? GameStop stock. It's pretty ridiculous what has happened. And growing up with GameStop, going to GameStop midnight releases, it's pretty wild to see its stock blow up from $4 last summer. I think it was $4 last summer, all the way to $400 this past, over the past 2 weeks. And for me, I think that's it's pretty cool to see the way society has, gone against the way that Wall Street has operated in the past. And politics aside, I think that it was really cool to see the middle class, lower class really just stand up for themselves and say, you know what, we're going to take it to the man and we're going to do something about what's happening. So I think it's pretty exciting to be able to see that, see that change in the air. And I'm excited to see what happens next for them. So hopefully, if you did buy GameStop, hopefully you guys are making bank off of it. I wish you guys the best of luck as well. I missed out on the train, unfortunately, but that's all right. Let me know if you cashed in on the GameStop stock, and if you did, how much did you make? Roughly, you don't tell me the exact amount. Be pretty cool to see, though. Now, that's enough for this week's episode of This Week in Gaming. Again, leave all your thoughts in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear them. And until next time, deuces.